Gingrich and Romney supporter, Michigan Congressman Thaddeus McCotter. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Alice Stewart, that was your guy leading into the segment, making a point that just because I have private thoughts and personal morality about certain things, it doesn't mean that I want government to do anything about those and enforce those. But in today's New York Times, Maureen Dowd made the point in her column that still worries her. She understands that distinction when candidates say that, but she says she has seen too much of politicians' own personal moralistic thinking seep into their governing when they get in office.
Well, I think he made a very good point. In that particular instance, he was talking about how we're getting away from the family unit, and we're seeing families that are single-parent families. And while he respects and admires single mothers, we're seeing a growing number of children having children, and children having their children, more and more unwed people having children. But he also made the point when they were talking about contraception. He has his own personal belief on that. He personally does not believe, his faith does not have him support contraception, but he has also not stood in the way of women who make that option. And he also feels that with the way that the President Obama is acting, we have the federal government stepping in on personal decisions, and this has become an infringement on religious freedoms, and we can't have that. That's not the government's role to do that. But one thing that Rick made abundantly clear is while he has personal opinions on many issues, it's not the federal government's position to step in and do anything about it.
Jackie Gingrich Cushman, I want to congratulate your candidate. Please pass on this congratulations to him. I thought he said the single smartest thing in the debate, in the toughest area of the debate for Republicans, which was earmarks. Newt Gingrich was the only person there who defended the earmark process and warned a Republican audience that with a Democratic president, you will want people in the House of Representatives, if the Republicans control it, to be putting earmarks in the spending that specifically directs how the money will be spent rather than leaving it to a Democratic president to spend that money. And that, of course, would work both ways. I think both parties would want to have that if they had the opposite party in the White House and they controlled the legislative process. So I'm giving your guy all the big points tonight. The gold star for the one thing that I thought actually was completely true and made sense. But do you think your audience hates the word earmark so much? Do you think it's possible that people listened to him on that?
Oh, I think they'll listen to him, but I think he showed time and time again on every answer that he had. He rose above the question, to your point right then. He rose above the question. He explained it in a way that made sense. And I think that was your favorite part. My favorite part were two things. One, when he said he was tearful, because he is tearful. And if you could watch him during the debate when others were talking, you'd actually see him smile and laughing. The other part, which I think is very key, which no one else in this campaign, no other candidate, including President Barack Obama, can say, is that my father can get things done in Washington and not just on the campaign trail. He is the only candidate, including President Barack Obama, who has balanced the budget 4 years in a row, who reformed welfare. And again, Senator Santorum mentions that, but he did that under Dad's leadership as Speaker. So again, Dad is the only candidate who can actually accomplish conservative things in Washington, and that's what we need today.
Now, I know my audience is expecting me to jump in here and wrestle with each one of you on these spinning items that you're doing, but we don't have the time for that, so I'm just going to be getting what you have and moving along quickly. Thaddeus McCotter, I want to play something that Mitt Romney said about what he calls the worst attack on religion in the history of this country, and that attack is being launched by President Obama. Let's listen.